ready for the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. For the next hour, we will forget about the black man, we will forget about the white man, and we will deal with the human. Pastor Andre Guy is here to answer your questions from a biblical perspective. He's an humble man who's on a mission to bring the church together with a Bible and a dictionary. He will tell you the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help him God. And now, here's Pastor Andre Guy.
It's like you start speaking your miracle into existence, just like you speak your pain. You got to start speaking your miracle in existence just like you speak your loss. You got to speak your miracle in existence just like you speak your divorce. You got to speak your miracle in existence just like you speak your poverty. And what has happened is, Satan is the prince of the air, and he grabs what you throw in the air, and if all you throwing in the air is negativity, all you're going to get back in your life is negativity. Your miracle is in your mouth. The reason it's taking God so long to fix what you're dealing with is because it's taking you long to praise him for it before you get it. You got to start speaking this stuff into your life. I remember, I'm married to a good woman. I love that woman. I know I love that woman. These last 19 years, these last 19 years have been wonderful. But we've been married 22. And 19 been wonderful. What was the mother to me? Head. Head. She loved me. And I loved her. We didn't like each other. Because she had some money, and I had some money. So I'm busy having my way. She trying to get the last word in so she can have it her way. And then while we have it my way and her way, we got in the way of God. And God can do nothing without life. So I remember one day when she said she got convicted, she said, you know what? We're not going to even play the argument anymore. I'm committed to this relationship. And I said, God, it registered something in my head. And I said, you know what? I'm committed to this relationship too. Now, it didn't change the fact that sometimes we butt heads and stuff. It didn't change the fact that sometimes we had situations we had to deal with. But because we lost that nasty word, divorce, what happened was we dealt with situations in a whole different manner. Because we didn't go into the situation looking for defeat. We went into every situation knowing there was going to be a victory. Because the miracle came in our mouth. Whenever we had hard situations, I let it come out my mouth. Baby, I love you and we going to make it. Whenever we had hard situations, she let it come out her mouth. God didn't bring us this far to fail. You got to start speaking into existence your future, what you're going through today. Death and life are in the power of the tongue. And if you don't choose to use the miracle that's in your mouth, you'll never see those miracles in your life. It's really not hard to get God to do what you want him to do in your life. We just won't do it. Sometimes it's too simple. That's why we won't do it. I don't want to hear that rib about praising God when I'm mad. It'll stop you from being mad. I don't want to hear that about thanking God for providing for me and my light bill due. It might get that light bill paid. I don't want to hear that about you telling me about my children are going to be all right and they ain't doing nothing I say. It might come back to pass that what you trained them with when they were young, it'll pop up later. God is not slack on his promise, nor is he doubtful on his word. Death and life are in the tongue. What you're speaking is going to determine how God is going to operate in your life. And by the same token, what you speak in determines if demons have authority. Satan can't do nothing in your life without your permission. You got to mess with his corn in order to be able to choke you with his card. So when you start using those little ugly words that you like to use, you get mad, you invite him in your life. When you start doing that little sneaky stuff that you think you get by with, you ain't sneaky, you ain't fooling nobody but you.
Talk about the time you go.
You know, we think we
They don't work.
Oh. Especially as men, we the biggest snitches on the planet. Take on ourselves in a heartbeat.
0. Okay.
Hey, where you going? Oh, I'm Bill with George House. You ain't got no son called George and tell you if you over there. Hey, George, you seen my husband? I see your husband in the week. And when they catch you, you want to lie. I don't know why George act like I went over there. Cause you won. But see, what I love about the miracle is that the miracle always operates on the truth. And one thing about the truth, you got to remember the truth. You have to remember the lie. But the truth will always be the truth. I don't care how many times they ask you. I don't care how many ways they ask you. The truth will always end up at the truth. So if it's something that you got to lie about, then that's telling you right now that's not your miracle.
Good evening, members and the rest of the world. Welcome to another edition of The Truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help me God. I'm Andre Gary. Hey, Twan Breaker. For the next hour, let's forget about the black man. Let's forget about the white man. And let's deal with the human from a Bible perspective, if you will. Feel free to call in at 901-452-3094 or 901-324-7490 for any comments, suggestions, agreements, or even disagreements we may have. We can agree to disagree without being disagreeable. Okay, this is Truth Radio Show brought to you by Truth Radio Network. We deal with everything from sex, race, religion, politics, and even sometimes sports from a Bible perspective. Got a lot. Amen. Got a lot on the plate today, Q. Okay, let's roll. Let's start off first with Miss Stephanie Love. She's the school board commissioner. Mm-hmm. She's the one that told them to suspend the national search and just get a job to Dr. George Ray, who's now the superintendent of our Shelby County Schools. And just so happened he was over academics before he received the superintendent position. And you know, we've had 75% of the third graders, they sent letters to the parents and asked them to let them stay back a year because they can't read on the level they're supposed to be reading on. And they couldn't read third grade level. Right, so the man who failed them in academics and reading, now you made him the superintendent of schools based on a resolution or suggestion, initiation, whatever word you want to use, that Ms. Love said, let's suspend the national search. Okay. And give him the position, and they did. Then we had the debacle out in Frazier with a young man, Brandon, I think, Weber. Allegedly shot this man 6 times for his car. Him and a co-conspirator left him in the road for dead. And before we found out who was the person that was with him, her and Tammy Sawyer, they like coming out on the news and speaking about their blackness, and I keep telling y'all, if you look down through history, there has not been one time in the history of America that this black militant attitude has ever accomplished anything for black people. Not the Margaret Garvey back to Africa, not the black Muslims, not the Black Panthers. Hey, weren't you a Black Panther? Yeah, I did that. It started out as a good thing. We were doing free lunch and protecting our neighborhood. That's who taught me how to rob. That's who taught me how to sell dope. Same thing happened to me. Happened to the other Panthers that stayed in that organization. Just like these different groups that pop up, and after a while, when they get a fame and fortune, notoriety because it's based on their blackness, then it just seems that evilness creeps in, because it's not about your color. Okay. It's about the content of your character. So anyway, let me play the news clip from Miss Stephanie Love when she came out about Frazier. They gotta get their commercial in while I get mine in. You call Power Pest Control at 901-581-5534 for your pest control needs. Call Sheena on the phone with insurance members at 901-303-8804 for your insurance need. And we'll help you go to enhance your sales.
One by one, many of Frazier's most prominent community leaders spoke to a packed room. Emotions still high after a 20-year-old man was shot and killed by U.S. Marshals.
Another African-American man has lost his life. I stand before you as a black woman, a mother of 2 children, to say that we must get this right.
By the light of day, all seemed back to normal, but it didn't take long for things to escalate after angry crowds started congregating on the streets and sidewalks. One man even throwing a rock or brick at our news car as we drove down a neighborhood street. But as this story gains national attention, Pastor DeAndre Brown insists those inciting violence don't represent the community, saying many don't even live there.
The national media has taken a story and taken it in a direction that will make the world think that Frazier is a neighborhood of savages. But as we stand here today, we are here to prove to you that that is not the case.
Tonight, a call for patience as investigators work, but also harsh words for city leaders, whose actions some believe have contributed to mistrust.
If the young man was out of order, if the young man had a weapon, if the young man caused harm to the police officer, then what happened, and it's a tragedy, and he has to be accountable to that. But who holds our leadership accountable?
We don't know what happened. Right or wrong, we need answers.
That's right.
If Brandon was wrong, we need answers.
That's right.
If the U.S. Marshals were wrong, we need answers.
That's right.
And that's all that we're asking.
In Fraser, Nina Harrelson, WRAG.
The same thing applies to if your son is wrong, you need answers. Now this is what's troubling to me.
Okay.
Ms. Love, you made a thing yesterday, so I asked that the media respect the privacy of me and my family in this matter. First of all, you're a public figure. Just like me as a pastor and a radio talk show host.
Okay.
That makes me the target of people investigating me, scrutinizing me, and commenting on me. That comes with the territory. That she's known for running in front of these cameras, now you want to back up off this. Here's what I found out, Q, that's really troubling.
Okay.
Because she makes decisions over our children, and I can't say that what her son did, was something that she influenced and things, because I turned out to be a criminal. My mother never taught me any of that stuff, and it's just what Andre chose to do. But when I started pastoring, a lot of preachers told me, man, if you would let your past be in the past, man, you would go farther. You can go far into the ministry. But God told me to reveal everything about me before I took this charge. I'm glad I did. I remember the Muslims, they called themselves finding some slick on me. We got a picture of him with David Duke, and I said, what kind of geniuses are these? You got the picture off my webpage. Everything about my life has been out there. Me being a stripper, me being a criminal, me being a drug addict, all that's out there. So, I mean, if you marching on truth, you got to do just like Paul, just like Andre. Tell it. But this woman, Q,
yes, sir.
I did not know. Woman been arrested 5 times.
Huh?
She been booked to the jail 5 times. She had warrants for theft of property, stealing. 3 times for vandalism. 1 time for aggravated burglary. 1 time for failure to appear in court. And 1 time for criminal trespass. This woman is on the school board representing our children, getting on TV talking about investigating the marshals. We need to investigate our elected officials. Let's pause for the call. Hello, caller. Welcome to the show.
Me calling in.
You calling in. You calling in.
Me calling.
And you know what? I'm glad you the caller because you got to hear this video. I'm finna play other guy. You got to hear it.
Having the video.
Now, but this here you got to hear. You put him on hold because he got to make sure he can hear it good. Cause I want him to tell me what did this judge mean. Me and the other guy might end up on the same side today. Let's get it.
This is the Onion News Network, keeping you safe from the lies.
Thank God for somebody that's here this morning. They found us good stuff.
We begin tonight with an update on the story we've been following all week. Hannah Stevenson, the 16-year-old girl from Detroit, accused of stabbing a classmate to death with a screwdriver last month. At her arraignment this afternoon, Hannah received the harshest possible sentencing from the judge. She will be tried as a black adult.
Due to the extreme and violent nature of this crime, this court finds it fitting to try the defendant as an African American. Henceforth, you will be referred to for the jury by the name Wandell Brown.
Once the trial begins next week, all courtroom images of Hannah will depict her as a 300-pound muscular black man, and jury members will be instructed to imagine her as such.
We're going to do our best to make sure that Hannah is treated with the sympathy and sensitivity that she, as a photogenic white girl, deserves.
This is America. Nobody deserves to be treated as a black man.
Now that Hannah has been ruled black, the court has instructed local media to assume she's guilty, and the police have retroactively charged her with assaulting her arresting officer. Hannah's 24 character witnesses have been replaced by a single crack addict who goes by the name of Skaggs. Hannah's parents are, of course, planning to appeal the ruling, saying that their daughter should at most be tried as a black celebrity or a stunningly beautiful Filipino lady. Every time I hear a story like that, it makes me so glad I'm exempt from the legal system.
When you follow...
All right, other guy. Other guy.
I'm listening. I'm trying to figure out. Only thing I got out of there was a crackhead status.
What do you think about her being tried as a adult black person? I wonder if that thing is real, man. It ain't real news. Fake news. I think that's fake news. I don't believe. I think that's fake news.
Yeah, well, let's talk about something that ain't fake news.
Okay, what's that?
Help me with my ignorance and shit. What's love wrong there?
Was she wrong there?
Yeah, well, let me tell you what I got from Miss Love.
Okay.
Right? But now, that I understand. She said we need answers.
Right.
Okay, what was she wrong there? Hit me with my
I'll tell you what was she wrong at.
Okay.
She fed into the frenzy. Tell you what I mean. You notice what she said. She said another young black boy and got gunned down by the police.
Well, what was she wrong? That happened.
Other guy.
Yes, sir.
If you black, or you white, or you Hispanic, or you Asian, and you get out and you point a gun at the police, and they tell you put it down and you don't, what's going to happen?
So you're going to get shot. You're going to get killed.
You're going to get shot. Now, wait a minute now. Okay. Are the police wrong when they shoot you?
No, they're not. But
now, when I said feed and frenzy, when you use the term somebody got gunned down, that is implicating to somebody that somebody unrighteously killed somebody. Would you not agree?
I would not. I would not. And this is why I would not. Okay? All right? All this lady asked is we need answers.
Right.
I don't think this lady is saying that this guy was in the right. I don't think this guy was in the right. But I don't have...
No, because she specifically threw it out there. You know, if Brandon was wrong, Brandon was wrong. But then hold on, I'm not through yet. Like I said, you feed into the frenzy. How many times have you seen Stephanie Love on TV or Tammy Sawyer when these folks 4-5 a week is killing each other in Memphis? How many?
Man, I somebody I know that I could recognize over there. The soap lady.
The who?
Charlotte, not Charlotte. What's her name, Papa Guy? The one that threw the soap that y'all in the parade.
Charlotte Bergman?
No, Charlotte Bergman. That's a nut. The white lady, man, that ran for mayor and threw bombs of soap.
You talking about the one that Perry Steele was with throwing soap to black folks in Orange Mound? What's that woman's name?
White lady.
What's that lady's name? The little short lady. I can't remember her name right now, but
for me to believe Perry Steele was with that white lady doing that.
You there. But anyway, they're coming out what they're doing with their feeding and frenzy. Anytime that the police is involved and it got something to do with somebody that's black, it doesn't matter what they did, it doesn't matter what the circumstances are. They're coming out putting this air out there in the community that like the police are gunning down black folks. Police ain't gunning down black boys in Memphis. Black boys in Memphis gunning down black boys in Memphis, man.
I agree.
But they're not coming out with no news clips on that.
No, I never saw that.
And then they come out with the same things. We got to stop the violence. We're going to have a peace rally. We're going to give away some hot dogs and some hamburgers. We're going to put some teddy bears on some telegram poles. And enough is enough. The same old rhetoric all the time. But when the dust settles and the smoke clears, it ain't getting better, brother. It's getting worse.
Yeah, like that.
And then she's on the school board of Shelby County Schools. What is that?
Now, you said something there. You said they've got a criminal record.
She got 5 times she been arrested.
Look at her, man. Look at her. I'm doing all...
Carol Chumley, that was her name. Carol Chumley.
Carol Chumley,
that was her name. Carol Chumley.
I get that. You said something. Now, y'all don't want that guy to put this case on and get on this notepad to come over there. You got the inmates running their salary.
Yeah, man,
you have a public person in leadership position.
But you know, other guy, and I would be the pot calling the kettle black if I said that because of her criminal past, she does not have the right to adjudicate anything leadership. Keep in mind, I've been a drug addict, I've been a convict, I'm a pastor. I'm a pastor of a church. But now, the people that follow my leadership in pastorship, I feel like I have an obligation to let them know what my checkered past was before they entrust me with their leadership. I just think that's the right thing to do.
All right, remember we were at towns over there in Memphis and stuff like that. So I got a biblical question for you.
Okay.
Okay? All right, you got to get in the King James Version with me. Okay?
That's where I go.
I've never heard of this guy named Moses, which I know you're Paul man. Okay? If slavery was so good, why did God send this man named Moses to free the slaves?
Because of Pharaoh.
Because of Pharaoh.
Not because Pharaoh had enslaved them, because Pharaoh had declared himself God.
Mm-hmm.
And God was not going to have his people worshiping the man.
Oh, okay. So you basically said that he didn't care about those Jews that was in bondage. This is what I'm getting from you.
Yeah, because there are periods in time that God allowed his people to go into bondage because they were mumbling and they were disobedient and they were unfaithful. And the slavery carries over to the New Testament. It tells you how the slave supposed to act and it tells you how the master supposed to act. I ain't never told you that God was against slavery. So where was you trying to go with that?
Well, let me tell you what I'm trying to do with that.
Okay.
You just said...
Now, I will tell you this. Now, God was against the kind of slavery they had in America because God was clear how the slave is supposed to act. He was also clear how the master is supposed to act. So that what they did with their chattel slavery, that wasn't biblical, but go ahead.
Well, you saw Ruth's slavery.
Ruth was a lot. See, I told you. I told you. There you go with that fiction mentality again, fake news. Alex Haley got sued and admitted Ruth was not the true story that he said it was. It was a lie. It was a white man wrote that play, man.
Forget Alex Haley and forget Ruth. Are you going to say to inside tell me that slavery did not exist in this country?
Slavery did exist in this country, but that does not mean it existed like he showed it with LeVar Burton and John Amos.
Well, have you ever heard of the Underground Railroad?
Yes, I have.
Tell yourself.
I have.
You have. Right over there where you are, Phil, you probably drive over.
They got one of the houses that they use it underground. I'm recognizing. Have you ever heard of a jockey?
Yeah, I know about jockey.
What is a jockey?
What is a jockey?
Yeah.
A jockey is somebody ride a horse's back.
No, I'm talking about the little jockey that they have in their front yard, sometimes painted black.
Oh, you talking about, man, I used to know his name. Giacomo.
The name was Jackie.
Yeah, with the water on it. Well, he got the red dog.
Right, it was Jocko or something. Most blacks, most blacks, when they see that, they think that that's a racist white person, but they don't really know the story. That was the sign that the abolitionists, the Republicans, that they used to let the slaves that are going through the Underground Railroad know this is a place where you can get medicine, this is a place where you can get food, this is a place where you can get money. Those were the people that helped the slaves get from the south to the north. All this stuff about roots and all that stuff, that means that is fictitious. And what it does is it perpetrates a lie. You doing the same thing and stepping in love. You feeding the frenzy. When the truth is told and stuff, yes, slavery, there was some very ugly things that happened in slavery. But I thank God for slavery, because if it wasn't for slavery, you would not have 13% of the population of the United States of America to be black people now.
Sir, my time is running short.
Yes, it is.
I telegram phone calls are getting awfully hot up there. But I have a question, okay? I want to get back to my...
Wait a minute. Somebody just sent a text in.
John's mother. Brandon was a savage, and he was boasting about committing murder. He was filled with pride, and he was defiant. He deserved what he got. He thought that he was invincible, so he was put down.
What do you think about that?
Well, what I think about that is this. I think that the love lady is absolutely still correct. She said we need answers. Now, if that's...
No. And I promise you, I agree with you on that wholeheartedly. That statement is true. My thing is, okay, it's like, if I came to you and I said, other guy, I'm going to give you $100. There you go. Here go $100. You take that... Yeah, but you take it. You said that's a good thing, right? If you found out I gave you that $100 because right before I came and gave it to you, I told 5 or 6 people that were sitting on there that's real close to you, I'm going to show you how weak he is. I can't stand him, but he's going to take my money. How would you feel about that $100?
Dude, if you going to give me $100, I can care less on your...
Okay, so you can care less. Now, see, for me, I'm different. I care what your motives are when you do something. What I'm saying is...
Now, if I could buy with $100, I'm going to take your $100. I'm going to have me some fun. about a week ago.
Lord, how complicated it is to explain to the simple, but I'm going to try. Okay.
Okay, here's what I'm saying, okay? I can't see what you just said about Pharaoh, okay? That Jesus was after, God was after Pharaoh.
I can prove it to you.
Prove it to me.
Who was next in line if Pharaoh died?
Not Pharaoh.
The next Pharaoh would be Moses.
Mm-hmm.
All God had to do. Yeah. All God had to do was, you don't read the Bible, so you might well listen to somebody who does.
Yeah, but I saw the.
All God had to do was let Pharaoh die and let Moses. That and that movie got it wrong. All God had to do was let Pharaoh die. Moses would become Pharaoh. God was not going to let Moses sit in that seat because Pharaoh had declared himself to be God. Even to this day, Egypt does not worship the God that we worship, brother.
But that's the guy. Another Pharaoh took that Pharaoh's place.
Yeah, but it wasn't Moses.
Absolutely wasn't Moses.
Okay, so that
you could never have taken that place.
So that's how come God didn't write no book of the Bible from Pharaoh. He wrote it from Moses. I got to go, man. Bye.
Hey, before you go, I already know what I'm getting for Christmas.
What?
The Ten Commandments.
Lord, how complicated it is. Trying to explain to the simple. Thanks to Joseph. Remember yesterday I was trying to find that clip on CNN where they try to say black people is the one that's Antifa, right? Mm-hmm. And I've been telling black people, I said, I'm telling y'all these white liberals are setting you up. All this stuff about we going to spend $100 billion and buy everybody a house, and we're going to give you some reparations, and we're going to pay off all your college fees, and we're going to deal with climate that they playing game, which was first let me play the original clip off CNN when they try to say that Antifa is a black organization. Then I'm going to show you what these people are doing. Setting y'all up together.
Let's be clear also about what's going on here. The theme here is, I'm Donald Trump and I'll protect you from the scary black people. Antifa is widely perceived as an African-American organization, and this is just part of the same story of LeBron James and Don Lemon and Maxine Waters and the NFL players and the UCLA basketball players. This is about black versus white. This is about Donald Trump.
Remember that black versus white? They setting up for y'all. Go ahead, put them to the queue. Let's pause for the call. Hello, caller. Welcome to the show.
Hey, Pastor Guy.
Hey,
thank you guys. I just wanted to make a couple comments. You're talking about getting support and going to 2 hours. If people would just answer your question the first time, we could get all this business done in an hour. But you got to drag it out of these people. They will not answer your question. And my second comment is, it's sad but true. That clip you played about trying the woman as a black man and this and that, and she's going to be tried as a black. The news has gotten so crazy that we believe anything we hear.
It is.
That's fake news, but that's all we're used to now is fake news. And it doesn't matter what we hear, we automatically believe it because nothing is too crazy for the news nowadays.
It's gotten to the point where the fake news, even if you can prove to them that it's fake, they still reject the truth.
Yeah, you're right.
That's what we at now. That's the mentality that this country's come to.
If you just fall back on the word for everything, you're good. That's all you got to worry about.
Pray for me, my friend. Pray for me. You see,
I'm praying for Black that he'll learn how to answer a question another time. He's done with it.
and maybe you're right. We will need 2 hours.
But we won't need 2 hours. People just answer your question. Where do you go to church? That's a simple question. Answer it. Yes or no questions, they got to just go on and on and on. So anyway, we appreciate you guys and praying for you. Y'all have a good day.
Thank you, my friend.
Racism. And the UCLA basketball players, this is about black versus white. This is about Donald Trump's appeal to racism. And it just happens all the time, and we never say it. We don't say it enough for what it is.
Yeah,
but that's what's going on.
What do you think, Rob? He's going to be running his house.
Well, look, I don't just... But I would frame it more broadly. I mean, I think, Trump basically has portrayed himself from the beginning as kind of the last line of defense for his supporters against all the forces that he suggests are trying to take America away from them. And sometimes it is coastal elites, like his attack on Google this morning, and sometimes, often, it is minority leaders, with like all the attacks that Jeffrey mentioned. The key, though, is, and what he said to the evangelical leaders really fits into this, I think, is that he is presenting himself, in effect, as a wartime president for Red America, only the war is largely against Blue America. I mean, we've had presidents who've been accused of slighting voters outside of their base before. Trump, I think, really is the first one who actively kind of tries to demonize the voters and the parts of the country outside of his base as a way of consolidating and mobilizing his own supporters. A division is essential. It is integral to his entire strategy. And, of course, the price on that is it puts enormous pressure on the less partisan piece of the Republican coalition, mostly white-collar suburbanites, and that is where they face the greatest risk this fall among the very voters we were talking about before in the last segment, who kind of look at what's happening and say, this is just too much chaos for me. I want some more checks and balances.
Go ahead, Jeffrey.
I don't know, Ron. I'm thinking it's just black people and brown people. I think that's what it's about. And, yours is a very sophisticated analysis, but I think it's just as ugly as it could be. And let's not forget, Donald Trump became a politician by making up a racist lie about the first African-American president.
But if you ever heard
it's a central part of it, Jeffrey, but it's not all of it. Because
but do you remember,
he does also do the media.
No, just to say, Jeffrey, you remember a time when a president warned of violence on the streets if his party loses?
Beats me. I can't remember it.
Now remember all that they put out there as WMQM. He made sure he labeled it Antifa is a black organization, right? Let me show you something they just did last week. How do you know what news?
Andy Noah is an independent journalist in the Pacific Northwest. He's been on the show a number of times. He covers Antifa quite a bit. He was at an Antifa rally over the weekend, minding his own business, covering the news. He's a journalist. When he was beaten almost to death by Antifa, wound up in the hospital. He just got out and joins us now on this program. We're happy to see him. Andy, I'm glad you're capable of doing this interview. Tell us what happened.
If you can see the video, this man's face is still swollen.
On Saturday, documenting this protest that was organized by Antifa and its allies, we were a literal stone's throw away from Portland's most important institutions of the rule of law, the courthouses, the sheriff's office, the central police precinct, while hearing people chant, "No hate, no fear," I'm suddenly bashed on the back of my head from behind, and from there, I'm a very passive person. I've never been in a fight. It took me a few seconds to realize that I was actually even hitting my head. When I realized what was happening, it was too late. People, all dressed in black and wearing masks, started beating me with their fists, and some of them used objects to hit me.
With their face covered up.
I don't know how many people were involved. Seems like 5, 10, 15, or 20. It could have been that many. So much that I lost control of my GoPro camera that I was holding, which was then stolen from me. And when I thought it was over, I was wrong. I put my arms up to try to shield my face, as well as to signal to them that I was surrendering, and that I wasn't there to fight. But that really signaled to them to be more aggressive. So then they started dumping what I believe were milkshakes and eggs, throwing it at my face, which blinded me so I couldn't see. And I was kicked some more, punched some more. And all this time I kept thinking, where are the police? I could still see the Multnomah County Justice Center in front of me, but no police ever arrived. I eventually stumbled away, bleeding, across the park, and I lost my balance, so I sat down on the ground in front of the courthouse. And from there, a medic SWAT team informed me that in order to get an ambulance to be taken to a hospital, I would have to walk to the police precinct. In other words, walk back in the direction of the demonstrators who just attacked me. Later that night, after arriving in the emergency room, I had a CT scan, which confirmed that I was diagnosed with a brain hemorrhage.
This is not fake news.
From which you're suffering neurological damage. Just to remind our viewers, this is the group that CNN's primetime anchors have defended and promoted. I saw that Andrew Yang, who's running for president as a Democrat, bless him, attacked Antifa for this. Have you received any other support very quickly from any other Democratic office holders in Portland or nationally?
Not that I know of.
Not that I know of, but that tells you everything. And you know, we're happy that you're at least capable of joining us tonight. That's a shocking story.
Thank you.
Man, that's messed up.
That's how crazy this thing is getting with this liberal ideology. Let's play this shit Armstrong, because some people out there need some insurance, man.
Are you looking for affordable auto, home, life, renters, or barrier insurance? Insurance in Memphis shop multiple carriers to find the best rate for our customers. Have an issue with driver license or SR22 filing? Insurance in Memphis has a market just for you. When the other says no, Insurance in Memphis says yes. Insurance in Memphis is located at 3556 Hickory Hill Road at 901-417-8022. Call your local authorized progressive agent, Sheena. Call her honesty to be a free quote, and you'll be glad you did.
All right, y'all, we're back and ready for your phone calls at 901-452-3094 or 901-324-7490. I'm throwing this
So
out
what
to
do you know?
CNN and MSNBC, they're not going to give it to you, man. They're feeding you this stuff to program you. Facebook and Google and Twitter have mesmerized you, hypnotized you, and these people are selling you a bill of goods that comes straight out of the playbook of Satan, y'all. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Q, I mean, what you think about what we just heard?
Man, look, I can understand that, okay, he got beaten. He said you look over there, you see the police station, no police officers came, nobody showed up. Then when he got to the courthouse, he seen the people, they told him go back where he came from, then they called him.
No, he get to the courthouse where the wood is, once he made the body crowd, he got to a section of the area where the SWAT team was.
The SWAT team.
Right, and when he got to the SWAT team, man, you see what they did, man, I need help and stuff, and I need an ambulance, and they said, well, we got to stay right here, so make sure they don't get over to this area. Go back through them and go to the police department across the street over there, and they'll get you an ambulance. That's what happened.
Wow.
But they Antifa. These people stand out in public, man, got their faces covered up. Yeah, ski masks on, man. They knocking out bank windows and all this stuff. How are they not being labeled a terrorist organization? And you can tell that these people are white, but yet CNN said that this is a black organization. This is what black and brown people. This is what they're doing. This is how they're standing up. And once again, like I said, they're feeding to frenzy. Mm-hmm. That's what this is, man. And then we'll send our child to the public school. For them to learn what they teach them in the public school. Well, I found a video I couldn't find yesterday. This is what they teaching your child in the public school. This is what they teach you.
Have you heard about abortion?
Liberal Democrats.
I don't exactly know what happens, but like you go and basically get rid of the baby from inside you.
What have you heard?
That. Why did you have an abortion?
A few years ago I got pregnant and I really didn't want to have a baby.
What did your partner think at the time?
Well,
I think we were both like bummed out that I got pregnant, and he was just like supportive of what I wanted to do.
When you have an abortion, what exactly do you do to like have the abortion?
You go to the doctor and they put this little straw inside of your cervix and then inside of your uterus, and then they just suck the pregnancy out. And it was like a crappy dentist appointment or something. It was just like, this is like a body thing that's kind of uncomfortable, but then it was over and I felt really just grateful that I wasn't pregnant anymore. Do you think that sometimes it's not okay to have an abortion?
I want to say if you're being reckless, if there's nothing wrong going on.
I don't know. I just don't agree. Do we want people to just have all those babies? No. So what do we do with them?
Put them up for adoption.
I feel like if I am forced to create life, I have lost the right to my own life. I I should be the one to decide if my body creates a life. Even if you're giving a kid up for adoption, you still like have a kid out there somewhere, you know?
Yeah.
Are you religious at all?
I believe in God.
What do you think that God thinks about abortion?
If I were to say, I think like he's fine with it because there's still babies being born. What do you think God thinks about abortion?
I think it's all part of God's plan. Are you guys religious?
Yeah, I'm Catholic.
Have you ever heard of what like the Catholic Church thinks about abortion?
I don't think the church liked it.
Yeah,
because like they like see it as like killing the baby.
What do you guys think?
I think that it's up to you. Same, because
I feel supported by that. I believe that like life begins when a person has a baby.
At any point were you like considering not doing it?
No, actually for me it was like an instant feeling. Like I was like, I'm pregnant, okay, I'm having an abortion.
Was your family mad or okay?
They were okay, yeah, they were like really supportive. Which I think was another reason I wasn't scared, is because I knew that I had so much support.
Have you told a lot of people or just your husband?
I told my Lyft driver on my way here. I've told so many people about my abortion, so I decided to tell everyone on Facebook that I had had an abortion and that I was choosing to tell people that because I felt like the pro-choice movement was really silent.
Have you ever been like attacked online by pro-life people?
Yes, but I don't call them pro-life, I call them anti-choice, because who would disagree with that statement, right? Like being pro-life.
Yeah, you want people to live their lives.
Yeah, to me, the phrase pro-life is propaganda because often the people that say that don't want to take care of people who have babies that they can't afford and then are totally poor. They want to deprive people of access to healthcare, and I'm just like, that's not, you guys are pro-life. I'm pro-life. At the end of the day, it's my body, and the idea that a group of, like, old white dudes in the government would tell me, yeah.
I can't tell you how many times some old white dude has told me how I should be, how I should look.
Oh yeah, I'm sure they're baffled by you. Do you have any tattoos?
Yeah, I have a lot. Do you have any tattoos?
I do, I have one. Do you want to see it?
Oh my god. Nice. Is it weird like being defined by this one thing that you did?
It feels like I'm like living my exact right life. God's plan.
God's plan. Mother Jones described it. What Mother Jones said.
Message from D.D. Moore's Jones' mother. The signal on the tape is an insane murderer.
Well, go and tell us how you really feel, bro. 901-452-3094 or 901-324-7490. There are a lot of issues facing this country right now.
Yes, it is.
And unfortunately, the church is being silent. And what they're doing is, preachers just like me, they're trying to silence us. Last but not least video for today, I told you they're going to start arresting preachers for preaching homosexuality as a sin. It didn't start. Here we go. It has started.
Hey! And let them arrest me! Because I'm not ashamed of Jesus! And listen, if they're going to take a preacher and throw him in jail for preaching, I put my hands up. I'm guilty. I'm guilty of the worst crime. Calling people talk down to their lives. Police are here to arrest me because I'm preaching about Jesus. Amen. I'm preaching the word. I will continue to preach the word. I will continue to proclaim Jesus. I will continue to pray in our prayer. I will continue to tell you that the wages of sin, yes, but the gift of God and eternal life. Jesus Christ is calling each man to account of their lives. I'm under arrest. I'm under arrest, everybody. What am I under arrest for?
You've tuned into Stranger Than Fiction News, broadcasting live from the dark side of the planet. You've just witnessed a preacher being arrested under the pretext of a hate crime.
Think about that, man.
Well, he stand on that principle, and hey, they arrest him, but he said he can keep on preaching. So, you gonna really stand for the God, you gotta stand up.
That's what happened in London. A lot of people may not realize that Jimmy Swaggart, they took him to jail in Canada for preaching that homosexuality is a sin.
Hey, remember a while back it was a preacher in Texas. They the governor came in.
No, the mayor of Texas subpoenaed the text of I think it was 7 or 8 pastors in that city to see if they were teaching that homosexuality is a sin. Find that story. Mayor in Texas subpoenaed the sermons of preachers preaching against homosexuality. It was Houston.
Houston, okay.
Houston, Texas. Let's see if we can find this story here. It was Houston. Hey, I found the story. Let's check it out. I love this tab. 901-452-3094 or 901-324.
There's a war over religious liberty in Houston, Texas. On one side is the city's first openly lesbian mayor. On the other are 5 conservative pastors who were served subpoenas, ordered to turn over any sermons dealing with homosexuality and gender issues. One of those pastors is Hernan Castano, and he believes the mayor got caught with her hand in the religious liberty cookie jar. And Pastor Castano joins us now from Houston. Pastor, why does the mayor want your sermons, sir?
That is the question we ask our own selves, and everyone's asking. The pastors of Houston and of this great nation are asking those questions. We preach 4 or 5 times a week. We give our messages to the city of Houston and also to many other countries of the world. And it's a message out of the Bible. We believe that they have just overstepped, gone over the limit. They want to intimidate the pastors of America, and they want to use us 5 to send a message to those pastors and to everyone that will oppose their way of governing here in the city of Houston. So this is very dangerous if we allow this to go on from here, from Houston to the rest of the nation.
You know, Pastor, your attorneys at Alliance Defending Freedom seem to believe that they're going to use that material from your sermons to smear you and your fellow pastors there. What's your take on that?
Well, I have no doubt that that's probably their intentions. They want to use that material to show everyone that we hate, that we maybe are against them because we are definitely extremists, but that's so far away from the truth. All we've done is help and be a part of 55,000 signatures in the city of Houston to oppose an ordinance that is against the people of the city of Houston. And we have asked them to allow the people to vote, to express their voice, and they will not listen. They think they are the only ones that can decide what to do, and they can just reject the signatures and throw them away. Just like the secretary of the city of Houston said, she had validated those signatures. She had actually seen those signatures and said they were okay until the attorney of the city decided they were not legible. So there's something happening here in the city of Houston in government. And because we spoke and we used the First Amendment freedom of speech, they're trying to stop us from speaking. They're trying us to cover our mouths like this and don't say nothing. We have freedom of speech and religion, and that's what we're saying.
You know, Pastor, the mayor, she doesn't seem to be a big fan of yours. She's on Twitter. I'm not sure if you guys follow each other and share tweets, but she put something out a few days ago. I want to read this tweet to you. If the 5 pastors used pulpits for politics, their sermons are fair game. I want to get your reaction to that.
Well, if she's talking about fair game and our sermons being fair game, our sermons are live streamed on a daily basis out of the churches, and she can listen to them. She's welcome to come to our church and sit down and listen to the love of God and also listen what the Word of God says. But if she's talking about fair game would be for them to allow the people's 55,000 signatures and take this ordinance to the people to decide in November. But they don't want a fair game. They just want to intimidate. They just want to silence the pastors of America, and they want to have control over religion. This is, I'm shocked. It's amazing. Some of us came from different countries. I was born in a foreign country. 5 months I came to this great nation. I'm an American citizen because we believe and we love this nation for its freedom. And they're trying to intimidate us and take that freedom away from pastors. Someone's got to stop this.
Pastor, on Wednesday, the mayor assured us reporters that the subpoenas were going to be narrowed, but so far that hasn't happened. The subpoenas have not been rescinded. So my question to you is, are you going to comply with the subpoena? And if you don't, are you prepared for the possibility that you could go to jail?
We are prepared to speak and have that freedom of speech. We are prepared to serve our God, which is a higher authority. And we believe, we still have hope that this nation has people of moral values, of truth, people that have the belief that freedom of speech is a First Amendment protected right for all of us, and that they will not allow abuse of power to send us to jail. But if it was to happen, we believe strongly we are doing the right thing by speaking what we feel deeply in our hearts and speaking for the voices of this city and of this nation. And we will humbly, with all the love that we have, accept whatever happens here. But again, our hope is that there will be a reaction in this nation to stop this.
All right, Sunday's coming around, Pastor. What do you tell the congregation come Sunday morning?
I would tell the congregation, and I would tell every pastor, to not be afraid, to just stand up and speak what is truth and what represents justice. And again, when you have nothing to hide, when you are acting in all honesty and integrity, you do not make changes and you do not play a game. Your identity does not need to be changed. The mayor of the city and the governor of the city, and I call upon those at city council that sit in those seats of power to speak up. If they are there elected by the people, they should speak up to the mayor of this city and to the city attorney on what's happening in this city, and they should speak up in representation of the people. And that's what I would tell the church, to pray for strength, to pray for wisdom in all of our hearts, but above all, to pray for this great nation and its protective rights.
All right, incredible story, folks. For more, though, go to the opinion page, foxnews.com. You can read my latest column on this story. I'm Todd Starnes. Thanks for watching.
People suffer. The church suffers when God's people don't speak up.
I got a question from YouTube. Said, where the LHBTQ community at? I don't know.
The LHBTQ?
No, community.
What you mean?
Where do they say?
Where they at? Mm-hmm. All around us. Mm-hmm. They're in our schools. They're in our churches. They're in our hospitals. They're in our restaurants. They're in our movie theaters. They're in our police departments. They're sitting in justice. They're all around us.
One in the White House, ain't there?
Oh, what you mean?
You said, did he get an aide or something?
The press secretary that's supposed to be a homosexual. I ain't really heard much talk about that, so that's why I ain't said nothing about it. But yeah, supposedly that the press secretary. Hey, you know, I'm going to tell you something. You brought a good point. Mm-hmm. As a pastor, as a Christian, as an American, as a man, mm-hmm, how we supposed to treat the homosexual? Because they got the right to be homosexual. How we supposed to treat them?
With love and kindness.
I didn't say, you know, just because that I teach that homosexuality is sin, so is fornication, so is adultery, mm-hmm, so is lying, so is stealing. I don't hate them and want them not to be able to live in America like they want to live. They got a right to choose what they want to be. And they have a right not to be discriminated against because that's what they want. I don't have a problem with that.
Nope.
But I have a problem when you try to take what your choices is for your sexual lifestyle and then force it upon me, where you go to the point of you even change the definition of words. Gay mean happy. You're fighting for homosexual rights. You're not fighting for happy rights. Gay mean happy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, or did you change the birth certificate from father and mother to now it's parent 1 and parent 2? And no, now you're forcing your sexual choices on my life. You got to call her.
Yes, sir.
Put us up, too. Hello, caller. Welcome to the show.
It's past number 3 who estimates what's going on.
Hello, Beelzebub.
I like what the dude said. I called Maybe Happy when I said, I'm the great deceiver. He said, well, did you say he's the great deceiver?
You liked that, didn't you?
That was sharp on his part. But we
sharp
kind
on yours, too.
I'm going pumping way under the ground, and I'm gonna throw every gorilla into the sun. You see how hot that sun is?
Man, you know, I just happened to sit outside right before the broadcast, watching Shane, who was watering the lawn. I just stood out there about 5 minutes. Like that because I leave from here, going to here, I leave from that area, going to here. But I sat there for 5 minutes. I mean, that is a unusually hot heat that's out there. I literally felt like I was in an oven.
Man, I don't see how they getting out there swan diving off of tall mountains in the cold and jumping in dark, murky green water, going skiing
Well, that's easy because they coming out to heat to the water. That's why they going in the water, because it's hot. Have you been in the water lately? When the last day you took a bath?
Uh-oh. Don't make me tell the whole truth. But,
Rick, it's been more than 3 days.
No, I just got out of the shower yesterday morning.
Then what's that I smell?
Oh, man, don't say it's the bush ice.
Man, I'm out of time. Bye, Rick. God bless y'all. Look, if you like the show, support the show. Go to AndreGuy.com, click on Revelation Christian Center, and you can donate to PayPal. We do need 2 hours. Or you can go to Lisa Revelation on the cash card and help us out, y'all. God bless. We'll be back tomorrow. Read your Bible. Read your Bible.
Are you looking for affordable auto, home, life, renters, or barrier insurance? Insurance in Memphis shop multiple carriers to find the best rate.
I might have a hit you.
Have an issue with driver license or